The article starts off today by saying Ted and his friends are sitting around the table. Yes.
Oh, they're ready.
They're ready. Remember, sitting around the table just means you have... The table doesn't have to be round. It could be square, but it just means somebody is sitting on every side. They're surrounding the table, so they're ready to go.
Everyone is ready for dinner. Ted 和朋友已经围着桌子坐好。记得我们昨天学这个 around the table， 围绕着桌子坐了一圈。So they've done their food shopping.
It looks like they're pretty much ready to go. But Marshall, he's the guy who's new. He's the guy with all the questions about hot pot and how it works and what has to be done. He says, do we put all the ingredients into the pot at the same time? Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question if you're
Because, you know, if I'm really hungry, sometimes I'm just like, okay, just take all the stuff and just throw it in. Throw it all in right away.
There's a rule.
There's rules?
Yeah.
The rule is, there's only one rule, okay? I'm hungry. That's rule.
No.
Rule number one, also the last rule. It's the only rule that matters. No, there are actually better ways to do it than that. That's just my preference.
Yeah, and especially when there are so many ingredients.
There's so many different things
on the table.
You probably don't want to mix it all together so quickly, right?
Marshall 就问说，所以我们要把这些食材一次都丢进锅里煮吗？ Can you answer this?
No, I can't.
No, you're not really a good...
I only have the one rule, which is I'm hungry. Lily has a far better answer than I do. She says no. No. Okay. No. Apparently no. No, we put some ingredients in at a time. Okay, so you don't do it like I do, where you just throw it all in there. You put a little bit of this, and then take it out, and then a little bit of that. It's a much slower, much more, I guess, civilized way of doing it.
Right, and you talk to people, don't just eat.
You don't just go like, yum, 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 yum. You have a conversation.
That's right.
When your mouth is not filled with food.
So 我们每一次都是煮一点一部分的食材 at a time 就是每次煮一些这样 That's why sometimes eating hot pot can take more than 2 hours.
Yeah, it takes time, you know. It's a nice, slow, relaxed way of eating. And like we said yesterday, you talk to people. You're sitting across from everyone. You have a nice conversation and a great meal as well. Another good question from Marshall. Which ingredients should we put in first? See, I never think about this stuff. I don't think about it. I just throw it in there. I'm just like, okay, here's the meat. Put in the meat. Here's the vegetables.
No.
So which should go first? I should know this by now, but I don't.
No.
I need an education.
既然要分次煮，那哪些要先去煮呢？其实是有规则的。Do you know that people usually cook first? There are also reasons.
There's reasons.
Right.
Okay, this is good for me. This is good. I'm learning. There's always something new to learn about food and food culture here. So they're going to educate me and Marshall as well. Robin says, let's put some cabbage and tomato into the pot. Okay, they're starting with vegetables. All right, fine.
There's a reason.
Okay, there's a reason. And the reason is they will make the soup sweet. Oh, okay, I get it. I can see the reason here. I can see why we're starting with vegetables. Okay, sweet is our first power word for today. It is spelled S-W-E-E-T, sweet. Sweet is an adjective, and we use it to describe the taste of food or something we are cooking. It means that something has or tastes like sugar. It has a lot of sugar in it, or it just tastes like sugar. For example, these carrots taste quite sweet. These carrots taste quite sweet.
Robin 说，先放高丽菜和番茄 cabbage and tomatoes， 这样汤才会甜。甜我们用 sweet， 像甜点的甜，或是汤头的甜都可以用 sweet 这个字。比如说 chocolate is sweet。或者是呢，像例句中提到的 carrots taste sweet， 就是这些红萝卜尝起来很甜。Sometimes if you are cooking at home, you will put pork bones first to make the soup sweet too.
You put the bones in, and the bones make the soup taste sweet. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning all kinds of new things today. So you put the bones into the soup, the hot pot soup.
Right.
And it makes it taste sweet. That's from the inside. I know what that's from. That's from the stuff that's inside the bone, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of the bone.
You like meat, you should like that too.
That's a good Finally, we're talking about the good stuff. Okay. So we're learning all kinds of new things about hot pot. And then Ted says, also, corn takes longer to cook. Yeah, it can take a while to get it all nice and soft, and the soup has to kind of soak into it.
Right.
Because it's thick, so it takes a lot longer. Put them in first to give them time to cook. You need to give things time when it comes to hot pot. You can't be in a hurry, unless you're talking about the meat. In which case it doesn't take very long.
We're not talking about meat here.
Okay, we're still talking about vegetables.
Right.
Things like corn that are like thicker, they take a little bit longer to cook. So you got to leave them in the soup for longer. So it makes sense that you put them in first.
Right. 接着 Ted 就说玉米要煮比较久，所以当然是先把它们放进去煮，熬那个汤，吸收那个汤汁。Something takes longer， 这里呢我们用 take 这个动词来表示花费时间。花费时间，我们用 take 这个动词，比如说去学校花我20分钟的时间 ，It takes me 20 minutes to go to school every day。另外呢，也可以用 spend 来同样表示花费，比如一样这一句呢，我们可以说 I spend 20 minutes to go to school every day。所以啦，这里文章是说 takes longer， 意思呢就是说煮玉米要花比较长的时间啦。
Okay, so we've dealt with the vegetables. You know, we've got the corn and the tomatoes and the cabbage. Things that will make the soup taste sweeter and things that might take a little bit more time to cook. Okay, now let's get to the good stuff. Okay, now let's get to the meat, right?
All right.
Okay, yeah. Marshall says, what about the meat and the tofu? Okay, does tofu count as a vegetable or what is it? What does it count as?
It still tastes good in hot pot. It still tastes good.
Okay. We don't need to worry about the details like that.
No.
But what about the meat and the tofu? How long does it take to cook them? When do they go in? What other things do you have to be concerned about when it comes to cooking these two things, the meat and the tofu?
When they turn the color, right? It's ready. 通常看到这个肉的颜色不是红色就差不多好，尤其是牛肉，所以肉类不太需要花很长的时间，而且肉如果老了就不好吃。It gets tough, right?
Yeah, it gets kind of hard or chewy. You don't want
to cook
too tough.
Too long.
No, you don't want to leave it in there for too long. You don't want to forget about it.
No.
Lily says they don't take long to cook. Yeah, with meat or tofu, it doesn't take as long as it does for certain vegetables. So you can cook them when you want to eat them. So just if you think, okay, I want a piece of pork, you just put it in. It doesn't.
A piece? Is that enough for you?
10 pieces at once, and you just put it in there, kind of swish it around. It doesn't take very long. You want to make sure, of course, that it is fully cooked before you eat it. You don't want to get sick. You can just eat it when you want to. That's our second word power for today. Want. W-A-N-T. Want. Want is a verb, and if you want something, it means you have a desire or a wish for something. For example, Hillary wants to make a birthday cake for her mother. Hillary wants to make a birthday cake for her mother.
所以 Lily 就说这个肉类通常不会花太多时间，想吃的时候再煮就可以了。They don't take too long. 想要呢这个动词太重要了。Want 表示想要做什么呢？就用 want to do something 不定词来连接。比如例句说 Hillary wants to make a birthday cake， 就是说她想要做个生日蛋糕给她的妈妈。
Okay, so they just can cook those things whenever they want to. You don't have to wait for anything. You just kind of go ahead and do it whenever you feel like having one of those things. So everyone begins to cook some food. So they've got the vegetables in there. They're just doing the meat or the tofu whenever they feel like it. So they're underway. They're started. And hopefully Marshall now knows what he's doing.
接下来大家就开始煮一些食物啦。So you cook some food and talk some and then eat some and repeat.
Yeah, because you need a break every once in a while from eating because otherwise, you get really, really full really quickly.
So in order to eat more, you rest a bit.
You rest, you talk, you burn some calories. Remember, it's
makes sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense. Trust me. Trust me.
In order to eat more than you should.
Yes.
Okay.
Trust me, I've thought about this. I've thought about this a lot, more than I
Really?
probably should have. Now, Marshall, he's still just kind of making sure about things. You know, if you're cooking, you want to make sure things are cooked properly, like we said. So if you have questions, it's always best to ask rather than to not ask. So he's cooking the meat, and he says the beef looks ready, right? Okay.
You don't really need to. If it's you don't ask this kind of question.
No, I just go for it.
You just
I just
eat
go
it.
for it. I just eat it. So
Especially
far,
it's beef.
So far, so good. No trips to the hospital yet. So he's just saying it looks ready, just means it can be eaten now.
记得 Marshall 吗？他那个新来的人说，这牛肉看起来差不多好了。What are you supposed to do when the beef is ready?
Is that a trick question? You eat it. You put it in your mouth. You chew. You
No,
swallow.
hold on.
Step 1, step 2, step 3.
Robin got something to say.
Oh no, I missed something. I missed something. A
Right.
very important step. Robin says there's sauce in this bowl. I forgot about the sauce. How could I forget? I got so excited when they brought up the meat. I forgot
You
about
don't
the
care
sauce.
about sauce.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a big hot pot no-no. You can't forget about the sauce. You can dip your food into this sauce. So that just gives it a little bit of extra flavor. And you're dipping into a bowl. The word bowl is our next word power word. We spell it B-O-W-L, bowl. Bowl is a noun, and it means a deep round dish that is wide open on the top, and we use it especially for holding food or liquid. So you'd put something like we see in our example sentence into a bowl. It says, Penny filled the bowls with soup. Penny filled the bowls with soup.
这边呢，他们还有准备酱料 sauce in the bowl 在碗里。这是中式用餐，比如说你盛饭啊、喝汤，像是西餐其实喝汤也一定会用到这个 bowl。比如这个例句呢 ，Penny filled the bowls with soup， 意思就是她在碗里盛汤。
Okay, so they've got their sauce now as well. We can't forget about the sauce. Marshall is having a good time, and we know that because he says this is a lot of fun. Fun, yes, is our next word power word for today. It's also our last word power word, and it's very easy to spell. That's why I like it. It's spelled
Yay.
F-U-N, fun. Fun is a noun, and if something is fun, it means that it makes you feel happy. It makes you have a good time. For example, I had so much fun at Disneyland. I had so much fun at Disneyland.
Fun 这个字超简单，就3个字母 F-U-N， 它是一个名词，很有乐趣 ，have a lot of fun， 意思就是 you have a good time。比如这个例句就是说他在迪士尼玩得很开心。You cannot have fun at Disneyland.
Can't not have fun.
No, it's
Can't not have fun.
impossible.
No, you pretty much have to.
Right.
When you go to Disneyland, and also when you have hot pot, right?
Right. Also, you can have a lot of fun when you're eating hot pot.
Yeah, like we said, it's a very social meal. It involves getting together with good friends or with your family. It's especially popular around the holidays, things like that, or just whenever. I like to have hot pot when I have foreign friends come to Taiwan for the first time, and they say, okay, what do we have to do? I say, you have to go have hot pot at least once. And now I have friends that come back.
For hot pot?
Almost specifically for hot pot.
No way.
Almost. That's one of the highlights for them. They say, okay, we have to go up to see the beautiful mountains, maybe go to the East Coast and, swim in the ocean, go to a nice beach.
But
we also have to have hot pot. It's a must-do
Wow.
when you come to Taiwan, and of course, for local people as well. It's a
Right.
big part of the food culture in Taiwan. Well, we're almost out of time for today. Maybe you guys have learned something that you didn't know about hot pot. I know I have.
like you.
But of course, I'm a foreigner, so a lot of these things are new to me. We're almost out of time. Before we leave you for A+ today, let's go to our review for the day.